So, how do we process information? And why do we all see the world so differently? Well, for us to be able to communicate and influence effectively, we need to appreciate what goes on in our minds when we receive information. So, here we have a person who has a brain and a body, although you can't see the body right now. Let's say an event happens around them. Their brain, concerned with survival, wants to know what that event means. Why? Well, so they can respond in a way that will not only keep them alive, but maybe benefit them too. So, depending on the meaning attributed to the event, the body initiates an emotional and physiological state that's most useful given the meaning. For example, if the meaning was danger, then the flight, fight, or freeze state would be initiated. For yummy food, a hungry or desire state might be initiated and your tummy start rumbling. Once you're in the appropriate physiological state, then you can respond with any number of learned behaviors that would be effective in that situation. And this all takes place in a fraction of a second. Most of the time, we are first aware that something has upset us, for example, because of the resulting physiological state or emotion that we feel. We're aware that we're angry, but not always how we got there. So it's important to know that what you think made you angry was actually the meaning your brain gave an event or an experience. Your emotions are the response to the perception of what's happening. They are not inherent to the event itself. That's why different people will experience the same event completely differently. The meaning is the key. Change the meaning, and your emotional and physiological state changes to match that meaning. For example, once you realize the bump you heard in the night isn't an intruder, your body will return itself to a more neutral physiological state, more appropriate to the meaning of neutral. And once you realize the meeting with your director is about a promotion instead of a problem, the state you're in may change from, worry or concern to one of excitement. So it's not the events in our lives that dictate our experience. It really is the meaning we give to those events. Change the meaning, change the experience. But where do those meanings come from? Well, we all have a model or map of the world in our brain that acts like a database. Our map of the world is comprised of all our experiences, everything that we know about the world. It's rapidly formed between the ages of 0 and 7 during a stage of development called our imprinting stage, where we are downloading information from all around us and from our role models, caregivers, and so on, and keeping them for future reference in our database. And we call these blueprints for life. And they contain all our memories, all our beliefs and expectations, all our knowledge, all of our role models, all of our skills and abilities, and all of our behaviors. The database is then mostly maintained and updated after age 7, but the bulk of the database, and thus how we view the world, has already been formed. Now, our map or model of the world can be queried just like a database. In response to an event, our brain queries the database as to whether this situation has been experienced before. When it finds a similar experience, it will assign the same meaning that it had previously to the current situation you're experiencing. The body then initiates the appropriate emotional response and physiological state for that same meaning. For experiences that were particularly emotional, the body is capable of hardwiring the emotional response to bypass the database query and save time next time. That means you can respond incredibly rapidly to events that happen around you without actually giving it any conscious or even unconscious thought. In performance psychology, we call that an anchor. And in several cases, in severe cases, this can create a phobic response.